Yes, it's me, Dr. Jimmy. Hello, Lenny. There's Lenny. Yes. Welcome once again to our creepy conservatory, where we lurk in the shadows and pounce at you. Well, maybe after a couple of shots. No, I haven't even gotten drunk yet. I've had a lot of chili for dinner, maybe too much. Ooh. But enough of that silliness. Yes, I feel a great sense of accomplishment as finally, as this weekend winds around to its end on this Sunday evening, I have succeeded in what I was hoping to be able to do. To get all the reaction videos of the anticipation for upcoming haunted houses from the announcements that were made out of the way, and catch all the way up to the most recent announcement that was made Tuesday week before last. I got that done earlier. And now on this June 2nd, it's still June 2nd, a little bit later at night, but I have to get this done before 10:05 because that's when Nosferatu starts on AMC. That's for N, I'm not sure if it's, no, I think it's N0, and it might be a 5 instead of an S, I'm not sure. And then, and I think it's the number 4 and an A and then a number 2. But it does spell like if you had a license tag, Nosferatu. And yes, it means Nosferatu because the license tag is just letting you know that the driver is a vampire, basically. Based on the novel by Joe Hill, who is, of course, actually Joe King, but he used the pen name Hill, which is his middle name, so that he wouldn't necessarily have his father's weight upon him when he started his own writing career. Although everyone knows it's Stephen King's son, so it doesn't really change anything. But Joe Hill is the name he writes under, so there he is. And I rather like him. I follow him on Twitter, and he always has clever things to say. And I'm looking forward to this television program, which will be starting in just a little bit. So I want to get this done quickly. This is my last cocktail video for Halloween Horror Nights 28. Finally, in June of 2019, for the event that was held in 2018 and ended like the first weekend of November. Good Lord. I don't know why it took so long. And this is basically, and it shouldn't take too long, I've taken too long already. I did all the Scare Zone cocktails, got them all done, and now what's left are those roaming hordes of chainsaw-wielding maniacs in the streets, which are sort of like Scare Zones in all but name, because they're not official Scare Zones, but in recent years they've tended to stay in one place. So are they a roaming horde? There's no specific scenery for them, but the costumes tend to be themed to where they are located, to some degree, and they even have background music specifically for them in some of the locations. So it's getting closer and closer to being a full-blown Scare Zone, especially since the earliest Scare Zones back in the early 90s weren't all that different from just characters in the streets. So there you go. Last year there were 2 of these hordes, one in Springfield, USA, which was sort of based on a circus carnival type of theme, rather like from the late 19th or early 20th century, possibly a bit European, a little bit punk in some places, but there was a female ringmaster, that's unusual, but there was also a bearded lady and a strong man and other characters that you would expect in a sort of circus sideshow. And for the life of me, it reminded me no end of some of the triumphant posturing, and especially the one musical scene in The Greatest Showman. And I used to talk about it as the show saws I didn't know what else to call them because it was sort of like the sideshow or the show saws is what I called them. Personally, I think they had their own carnival macabre or whatever. I don't know what they called themselves. So I didn't really see anything written down for them, but I couldn't help but do a little musical. I don't even remember what the lyrics were now, but I made a little ditty up like, let's see. Oh dear. How did that go? How did that go? Hang on. Let's see. Let me just see if I can see the real lyrics. I can figure it out. There, that was the name. So let me take a look at the. I'm just bringing up the actual lyrics of the. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now that I saw the actual lyrics to the real song, I can remember the parody that I wrote. I was trying to remember how it started, but now I remember. Yes. The sharpest saw will cut you down when wielded by an evil clown. Yes, something along that line. Blood will spurt, heads will roll out onto the streets. You are meat, something like that. This is meat instead of this is me, basically. How does that go? Something like that. It's not exactly what but it was something along those lines. And it was kind of, I thought that was funny because it twisted the lyrics. They didn't do that, I made that up. But I would sing that sometimes going through the zone, but no one could hear me over the chainsaws. But I just thought it was fun. All right, so what I'm doing for this is I'm having a shot for the two areas, the two Chainsaw Hordes. I'm not making a cocktail, I'm just doing a shot. So I have two different liquors with me for that I thought would be appropriate for each zone for some reason or another. All right, the other one was in the San Francisco waterfront area, where, of course, they had scare zones over the years, in fact, but they decided to stop last year, and apparently they weren't going to have anything there at all. But then they decided, we need something here, and so they threw a last-minute scare zone in. And the last-minute scare zone, my friends, was to theme it in with, amongst other things, the exit as you came out of Fast and Furious Supercharged, which had opened earlier last year. And they decided to have them running around there with their chainsaws dressed in the coveralls of mechanics and some bandanas, and they looked just like they came out of that. They came out of that out of the movie, the Fast and Furious franchise. Now, they weren't necessarily meant to represent any particular characters, although, what's the name of the girl that's supposed to be Dom Toretto's sister? Lila, something like that. There was one scare actress who had a close resemblance. Anyway. Now, let me again let's see what the catchphrase to make sure I get it right. I called this zone the family saws. Now, why did I call them that? Because of the Fast and Furious connection, of course, family forever, but also because Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the saw is family. So, hey, it fit to me. So, the chainsaw family forever. That's what I saw it as. And they were quite fun. And there was one fella that I've known for years and years and years. Oh, I don't... goes back a long, long time as a scare actor that I've known. And he was in that zone. It was quite fun to see him there. Going back, I think, all the way to at least to 2010, I think it was. Was that the Psychoscarapy Echoes of Shady Brook. I think he was in that. There's the whole thing about the ranch dressing. It's an inside joke. Anyway, it was wonderful, though. It might even have been before that, but it's been a long, long time. It's been quite fun. So I was glad to see him there, and it was a delightful, delightful area for something they just threw together at the last minute. It really had high energy and fun, and I would sometimes just sit on a bench and watch them chase people around San Francisco. So these are the two remaining things in the streets. And instead of making a cocktail, I'm going to make a shot for both and then drink both shots in these little shot glasses that were originally designed. Ooh, look, eyeballs. Because they have the little... They used to have little red things in the bottom. Maybe, you run them through the dishwasher and the paint goes away. I can't even see... I can barely make out the print on the side, but they were designed for Amore Amaretto. They came in one of those gift boxes, but, I've used them lots of times for other stuff, and I like the shape of them, but stuff wears off. They're not expensive or fancy. They came in one of those gift boxes for a liquor, and they're cheaply made, but they're cute, so I've kept them. So anyway, I have here, and I don't know, maybe over 20 years old. I'm not even sure I bought this. I think it was something I got from work when I worked at Disney, because very often, you work in a bar with bartenders. Sometimes they give you presents for parties, Christmas parties and stuff. It's the easiest thing to give, and I think it might have been over 20 years ago. That'd be amazing. That might explain why it's so worn off. But first, ta-da! Bacon! Why am I using this? Because I was trying to think something to fit in with the carnival and the circus, and I thought about, popcorn and other things. I already did a cotton candy themed drink just recently. So I'm thinking, what can I make as just a shot that would evoke some way the kind of food you might eat in the carnival, or something from the carnival and I was trying to figure it out, trying to place it, and then I suddenly remembered what's right there in Springfield, USA, as they run back and forth. The Nathan's hot dog stand, yes! And what could I drink that evoked the flavor of a hot dog better than the meatiest of all vodkas, which is bacon vodka. So here we go. I pour my first shot, bacon vodka. It probably would have been better to chill it, but it's going to be a little warm, body temperature. Actually, less than body temperature. Room temperature, which is only in the 70s. The lights going out. Poltergeists! And this one is actually chilled because I keep it in the refrigerator. This is my old friend Jägermeister. And why am I using that? For the family chainsaws, for the mechanics mayhem, or whatever they call themselves. I think they did call themselves something like mechanical mayhem. But because it looks like motor oil. Right? Especially when it's been refrigerated. It's thick, viscous, and smells a little dangerous. Yes, kind of looks like motor oil. That's why. Or chainsaw oil for Eddie Schmidt, yes. So here we are. And these are my two shots for the two Chainsaw Hordes that we had. And let me just be careful because the chili just came back up and I don't want to get sick all over the place because this is not that sort of video. It's because I put so much extra into my chili. When I start with the basic can of chili, but then I start jazzing it up. In fact, what I do first is, I have a canned chili, but what I do is, before I put the can in the pan, I put some onions and chop them up and let it kind of caramelize, and then I put in some sliced tomato and put that in there, a dash of lemon juice, and a whole bunch of the spiciest hot sauce I can find, because I always find the stuff in the can to be so bland. And what I've been using lately is Nando's extra, double extra hot peri-peri sauce, which is amazing, and it can burn your socks off, but I love it because I'm a cap head. I'm one of those, like the original Aliens of Roswell, the ones from the 90s, not the, or whatever it was when they did the original Roswell all those years ago, not the new one where they're all drinking nail polish remover, which is toxic and poisonous, but the original Roswell where they're always drinking hot sauce. I actually could do that. I love, I think hot sauce is a beverage. I'm always, if the more, the hotter peppers. I'm not going to bite into a Carolina, what is it, rapist? No, that's not it. What is it called, I think? Reaper, of course. I'm not going to bite into a Carolina Reaper because I'm not an idiot. I have my limitations, but I imagine my spice palate is a little bit a higher tolerance than the average person because I've been acclimated through growing up eating the spiciest curries that my mother learned to make in India, and I've always had a high tolerance for that because I've been eating it all my life. But so I put the hottest peri-peri sauce, which uses, and there's little chunks of seed from the peppers, which are those African bird's eye peppers that are very hot. And it's just wonderful. So I put that in the pan, and I just mix all that up first and let it get really hot before I put the can of chili in, and then stir it all together. And then I have some very good chili, which is better than the original can by itself. And there's something wrong with that light, and it's starting to frighten me. It's, power of Christ compels you. So before I get drug out into the back of the, what is Lenny looking at? Now I'm getting really Lenny is like right over there, staring out the window ominously, like there's someone or something there. I'm starting to get freaked. I do believe it's spooks. I do believe it's spooks. Okay, I don't want no paranormal activity shit happening, okay? All right, let's go ahead and have our shot so we can get back. What time is it? Oh yeah, before the television program comes on. So here is the bacon vodka shot for the carnival chainsaws, which I call the show saws. Ugh. Oh my God. I was afraid she was going to knock over the other shot. Careful, kitty cat. She ran through. I had the two shot glasses here, like this. One a little further, one here, on the desk. And she ran between the two of them. There's only this much space without moving either one. You can do that if you are a cat. Anyone else who would have been knocked stuff all over the place, scared the heck out of me. But this is graceful, and it's, you know, the feline grace. Oh, that's a nice kitty. Okay, but now this one for the family saws, as I call them, the mechanics that were in San Francisco, the Fast and Furious chainsaws. Unofficially, they weren't called that, but I think they called Mechanical Mayhem. So here we are for that wonderful horde. Okay, those were pretty amazing. I only recommend that to people who can take some couple of harsh flavors at the same time. The bacon's not bad, but I've never drank it straight before. I've always mixed it with something, and it'd probably be better if it was icy cold. It'd probably be really good icy cold, actually, if you were aware of what it was and have something with it, like dill pickles or something. That's what the Russians do. They have dill pickles right after their shots of ice-cold vodka, except theirs usually aren't flavored like bacon. That's it then. I've done it. And I'm going to some silly accent that isn't the one oh my God, that's like last year's one. Start over again. All right. So, here I have completed all the Scare Zone cocktail videos for 2018 and Halloween Horror Nights 28. In the middle of 2019, here we are, almost in the center of the whole year. And hopefully, next time I'll get done a lot earlier. And when does next time start? Almost immediately, because I have to start house cocktails for 2019 and Halloween Horror Nights 29, because I have 4 to make already from the 4 houses announced. The second Stranger Things house for season 2 and 3. I'll probably have some sort of ice cream involved in that because of Scoops Ahoy. I might wait until July before I make that one. I might not do that one first. I might try some of the others and wait till July and make that one then. Why? So I can see the 3rd season, darn it. It doesn't come out until July 4th, which is still a month and 2 days away, I believe. Oh. So there's the... But I do know that Steve works in a ice cream shop, and Baskin Robbins is having a tie-in to Stranger Things 3rd season, so ice cream has something to do with it. So maybe something ice creamy. Put some waffles in ice cream, but throw some liqueur in there. Maybe, I don't know, I'll figure that out. That's Stranger Things. I have to make one for Universal Classic Monsters. That should be intriguing. And then I have to make, 2 originals, The Nightingale's Blood Pit, and the other one, Depths of Fear. So I have 4 haunted house cocktails to come up with, and I still haven't quite figured any of them out yet. And of course, when new announcements are made, I will continue reacting to them, hopefully in a more timely manner. And what this really means is now I can go back and resume my history videos, and I might get that started soon, possibly within Monday or Tuesday. I can return to the history of Halloween Horror Nights 25 and continue talking about the Scare Zone Psychoscarapy Unleashed, which is where I left off in part 15, I think it was. So, with all that I'm going to quickly go out of this room and watch Nosferatu on AMC, the new television program based on the story by not Jonah Hill. Joe Hill. Jonah Hill is a different person entirely. I'm sorry, I hurt myself. Oh my God, I just hurt myself. And I'm being possessed by bad voices again. Oh Lord, Jonah Hill. Something not entirely chill happened last night. Yes, exactly. Oh God. Joe Hill, of course. Joe Hill, not Jonah Hill. Oh God. Oh dear. Oh dear. All right, I know when to quit. So, you all have a nice evening and have pleasant screams and all that. Yes. Where's my gold? Good night, all you wonderful people.